Well, hi there, Andrew Bell with you as we march into the last month of the year. It's a fascinating period of time, isn't it? Many are finding it confusing, and I certainly get the reason why. There is so much negativity in the paper, whether it's about what's happening in the government, what's been uncovered through the Royal Commission, and all the reporting in the newspapers about the real estate market, and so on and so on. There's no question that the real estate market is in a transitional correction phase after so many years of strong growth. Yet you'd almost believe that there is no market. Just one example of the activity here on the coast was our Sanctuary Cove office in the month of October, posting $21 million in sales. That's an all-time record for the Sanctuary Cove office, and it's just one example that there's an enormous amount of real estate activity going on at the moment as long as properties are correctly priced to the market. There's been a lot of focus on Sydney and Melbourne and their price corrections, but it should remember that in the entire history of the Australian real estate market, there have only been 3 occasions where there were any significant price corrections at an unusually high level. Each of those price corrections, where one occurred at the time of the Great Depression in the 1930s, the second during a massive credit squeeze in the early 1960s, and the third following the global financial crisis, were all precipitated by an economic crisis. All 3 of those occasions followed the same sequence of events, namely a share market crash, then falling wages, followed by rising unemployment and curtailed housing finance. In fact, of the 3 significant price falls, only one had a fall that was close to being a crisis situation. Now that, of course, was the Great Depression, which interestingly was followed by the biggest rise in house prices in our history over the following few years, where house prices trebled over a 10-year period from 1945 to 1955. So, does anyone feel that we're actually close to any of those indicators of something traumatic affecting our real estate market at present? Well, you know, the OECD, that's an independent international body, had just tipped Australia's economic growth to remain robust and ahead of most advanced economies right throughout 2019. Rather than wage falls, our economy has experienced wage growth of 0.6% in September quarter, taking the annual rate to 2.3%, which is the fastest in 3 years. It might be surprising to hear that the measure of Australia's consumer confidence has improved for the second month during the month of November, where the survey shows that the respondents are more upbeat about their finances in the long term. The survey also showed that Australians believe the economic conditions for the next 12 months were improving, and there was a surge of 9.7% in the confidence of our economy over the next 5 years. Now, within that broader survey, there was also an index regarding the real estate market, which showed that there was an 11.8% jump in the number of Australians who believe now is a good time to buy. And in fact, over the course of the entire 12 months, that index is up 17% on a year earlier. Well, I guess all of that might add to the confusion that I talked about at the beginning, where people are experiencing some uncertainty about what's happening at present. Perhaps it should remind us that there is so often mixed information in the paper, and so often we hear about the negative stuff that people love to talk about or focus on. And of course, those people tend to ignore the entire picture, which is always made up of positive and negative. There's good activity occurring in the real estate market. Although properties that are incorrectly priced are not selling, days on market are blowing out rapidly and are starting to go well beyond 100 days for those properties that are not marketed correctly and not priced correctly. It just means that people are taking long to adjust their prices to the market. Now, our auction properties are generally turning over in just less than 40 days, and so often getting great results. We saw that the Saturday before last with another fabulous auction with 9 registered bidders and the property selling under the hammer, well above expectations. Now, it reminds us that it is a time for anyone thinking of selling to take advantage of our big event auction in January. Our city swells with so many visitors and holiday makers who make up an increasing number of buyers for the Gold Coast property market at that time. January always records the highest number of property inspections for any month of the year. And so if you are thinking of selling, do not miss the opportunity and certainly get ahead of the looming federal election and changes that may occur as a result of that election. Now, for more information about the event, the hotline phone number is on screen now. Do not hesitate to give us a quick call and we'll provide you with all information you require. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoy some beautiful festive celebrations with work colleagues, friends, family over the next couple of weeks in the lead up to Christmas Day. Let's try to send out a bit more love than has been floating around of late and make it a great finish to 2018. I'll see you in a fortnight's time.
Dashing through the snow in one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.